Hi everyone, my name is Mia, and today I will be talking about the Holocaust. So, to get us started, when we picture the Holocaust, you would probably picture World War II, Germans, Nazis, Jews, that type of Holocaust, and let me tell you, you're on the right track. The Holocaust is very important because it shows a cruelty of one man and how much power he had, and to do so many things, and how it's happened over time. May not be as bad, but people can be cruel as well in that state of matter. So the Holocaust is an event that questions human behavior and the way people answer society challenges. So the points I'll be going over today consist of the origin of the Holocaust, the history, the death camp, a survivor, and um, a museum of a very specific and influential that was during the Holocaust. So to get us started, before I begin to start and explain the Holocaust, I want to explain the Greek term of Holocaust, and it's broken down into two terms, which is whole and burned. And basically, it was meant as a sacrificial burning as an offering. But in the year 1945, it really took a turn because of the events that played out. It was not seen as a offering anymore. Um, so it all started when an anti-Semitic Nazi leader named Adolf Hitler saw Jews as an inferior race to the German community, and an anti-Semitic Nazi is basically a hatred of Jews. So although anti-Semitism did not begin with Hitler, it was dated kind of around the 1870s. For example, Roman authorities destroyed Jewish temples and in Jerusalem and forced them to leave Palestine. So when Hitler realized that they were inferior, the only thing he could think of was a mass killing of Jews in these concentration camps. So this leads to my second point, which is the history of the Holocaust. So Hitler became Prime Minister of Germany, giving the Nazi Party power. And once this power was gained, the first concentration camp was set at Dachau. So basically, Hitler was able to combine the positions of the president and the chancellor, which was himself, and it gave him so much power over everybody. So over time, Jews were not able to publish their newspapers. They were deprived of their citizenship. They were no longer be able to vote. They couldn't be head of businesses. They had to give up their driver's license, their car registration. People had to go to Jew schools only. So Nazis were able to terrorize Jews, and they arrested about 30,000 of them, while the laws for the Jews continued to grow. And one thing specifically was that they had to wear a yellow star on their shirts, which was able to represent David. So Germany was able to invade Poland, which was the beginning of the first mass murder of Jews in Poland, and they were starting to put them in concentration camps now. So Hitler began his final solution, which was killing all European Jews. And then roughly 80% of Jews that were supposed to be dead were already dead. And Hitler would deport Jews to Auschwitz, which was the worst camp to be in, to be murdered. And after this, he was defeated, and the concentration camps and people were evacuated and helped and all these things. So my third point going into this was the deadliest camp, which was Auschwitz. And this camp was the deadliest camp out of 6 camps, and it was operated for 5 years. So an estimate of 1.3 million people were sent to this camp, and about 960,000 Jews died in this camp. There were 232,000 children that were sent to this camp, but nobody really knows the death toll that kids died. Like, there was no information about that. But what we did know is that in one day there was 800 kids that were gassed. and they died. The number of Jews left in this camp consisted of 110,000 with 3,800 suitcases and 88 pounds of eyeglasses, and so much more. Although around 8,000 worked at this camp, only the amount of staff that were charged with their crimes were 673. So this leads to my fourth point. A survivor that was in Auschwitz camp, and his name was Otto Frank. He was married to Edith and had 2 daughters, Anne and Margot. During the start of the Holocaust, he really tried to avoid this anti-Semitic wave spreading around, but he couldn't get the papers that he needed. So Nazis had discovered them in this house, and his family and himself were separated, and he was transferred to Auschwitz camp, and soon later he found out that all his family had died, and he was the only lone survivor of his family. Yet someone had found his daughter Anne's diary, and he soon later published it. So my fifth point is one of the memorials, which is Schindler's Factory, and it was owned by Oscar, who employed Jews so they would not be offered to the Nazi camps. So Nazis knew he was employing Jews. It wasn't a hidden tactic like the Anne family. But since Oscar was really good with relationships with those higher people, they let it go, because the fact that he was saying that he needed the Jews for the labor. So thousands of Jews worked in this camp. And not one of them went to concentration camps. So now it's a memorial. So, in conclusion, we reviewed the origin of the Holocaust, the history, the deadliest camp, a lone survivor, and a famous museum that showed unity. The Holocaust is very informative because it is our history that shows what humans are capable, and it also shows the events that has led up to us now. Thank you.